Have you ever caught a food thief and gotten the ultimate spicy revenge? I was doing an R&D internship for a food company over the summer in Keokuk, Iowa, which, for anyone who's been there, is basically the armpit of the state. As part of my housing arrangement, the company set me up in a local college dorm. It wasn't your standard college dorm either. It used to be a retirement home. That meant we had individual rooms and bathrooms, but one massive commercial kitchen we all had to share. Since it was summer, the school didn't have regular classes running, but they let 2 fall students move in early. One of them I barely ever saw. The other, he was always around, and usually had friends over. That's when my problem started. We all stored our food in the shared kitchen, and the unspoken rule was obvious. Don't touch what isn't yours. But almost immediately, some of my food started disappearing. Sodas went missing. Cereal boxes were put back empty. It was blatant. I put up a polite sign on the fridge, asking people not to take food that wasn't theirs. When that didn't work, I confronted both early arrival students directly. Nothing changed. In fact, the thefts got worse, especially when I'd leave town for the weekend. I vented to my manager at work about how annoying it was, and that's when they suggested a brilliant and perfectly petty revenge plan. Since my job involved testing new food products, I had access to all kinds of specialty ingredients. My manager told me to order some capsaicin extracts, pure chili pepper heat, under the excuse that it was for research. We weren't actually working on anything spicy, but that didn't matter. When the order arrived, it was glorious. Tiny 2-ounce bottles labeled with their heat levels, 50,000, 100,000, and 250,000 Scoville units. For context, jalapenos are around 5,000. I was holding enough concentrated spice to make a grown man cry. I decided the thief deserved the full blast. Wearing gloves and a mask borrowed from work, I mixed some of the 250,000 Scoville extract with water and poured it into a travel-size spray bottle. Then I got to work. I sprayed the tops of soda cans, the opening of the milk jug, and liberally coated chips, crackers, and cereal, the very things that kept going missing. For the snacks, I even opened a separate bag, sprayed the contents, let them dry in another room so the fumes wouldn't give me away, and then mixed them back into the original packaging. I finished my prep right before heading out of town for another weekend. It was perfect timing. When I came back a few days later, I checked the bait items. Some of the chips were gone. The cereal box was lighter. The milk level had dropped. 2 of the 3 soda cans had been taken. I didn't hear a word from anyone about it, but the results spoke for themselves. From that day on, nothing of mine went missing for the rest of my stay. I never saw the thief's reaction, but I like to imagine it was a moment of pure regret. A mouth burning like wildfire, sweat pouring down their face, maybe even a desperate chug of milk that only made it worse. The best part? It wasn't just about the heat. Capsaicin lingers. It doesn't just burn your tongue. It clings to your lips, your hands, and anything you touch. If they rubbed their eyes or face afterward, well, that was a whole different level of suffering. For me, the victory wasn't in witnessing the chaos. It was in knowing they'd think twice before touching anyone's food again. Sometimes the sweetest revenge isn't sweet at all. It's painfully, unbearably spicy. And I hope to this day, they still remember the time they messed with my snacks and got burned.